You're supposed to feel really bad that the girl died, but like the whole beginning, I'm like, I turn over to Savannah and go, I hope she's the one that dies.
I don't know if that's okay.
No, I know, and probably when people watch this, and they'll be like, we know who she was because this is in Iowa that it happened. But like, I hated the movie so much, and I hope that your daughter wasn't like that in real life. Because
what?
Sorry that I said that.
I don't know what's happening.
I hated the movie.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Beware, I hunger.
Now I'm gonna preface this by saying this was tough. This was a lot tougher for me because I kind of didn't go out of my way to see anything that I wasn't interested in. So I did pretty good with movies this year. But you with your...
I've had an oath. Anything that goes through my hometown, we've kept an oath and seen every movie that's come through since getting Movie Pass.
Wow.
Some of them weren't. The only caveat to that is Movie Pass changed from like unlimited every day you can go to they've really flubbed stuff up. So I kind of skewed on that of like I'm gonna go to every movie that Movie Pass will allow me to go to.
I see.
So to be fair, I've kept to my oath. Like I'm saying that like you don't care. You probably don't care. I'm saying that for myself. I've kept to my oath.
No, I mean that's a big
Like,
deal. You gotta have principles and
yes.
such.
So every one of the movies that I'm going to speak about today are actually on Movie Pass, which, again, forthcoming video with me and Savannah. Part of my oath is to her. I've said we will make this video. Don't kill me.
Is your goal for them? I think I mentioned this last time. Is your goal for them to start to pay you for the advertising?
That'd be awesome, but
within itself, I suppose it's worth it. So, what is your? We'll go.
Least worst to worst.
Yes,
ever.
Least worst to the worst. So what's your first?
So this is the only one that I think other people will disagree with me on, because other people said that it's good, and and they're like, hey, this is the this is not Poltergeist. What's the one that like everyone died in the set of? Like they kept having all this like crazy stuff. The Exorcist.
Exorcist.
Yeah.
Exorcist.
And this is the movie that's like, oh, this is the Exorcist of our day.
Really?
And Hereditary just was not.
Hereditary.
Like, it was not. It went for like the weird, like creepy factor of like, this is just disturbing. Not scary, but just like, well, that's really disturbing to see that just happened.
Wasn't Human Centipede disturbing?
No. That's Human Centipede is like gross. Yeah. But Hereditary was like, well, we're just gonna like see like the reactions to people seeing just horrific things happening, and it wasn't my thing. I didn't like it.
You think you went into it with high expectations, or was it just?
No, we just went. We're like, hey, let's go see a movie.
I'm pretty picky with horror movies, so I get where you're coming from. My first one is going to be the Netflix release, so this is not a theater release. Honestly, Cloverfield Paradox is my first one.
I didn't watch it just because I heard it was terrible.
It was, you liked the first two, right?
I hated the first one.
Okay, you didn't like the first. I enjoyed the first one. It's a little different. It doesn't hold up so much now because there's a lot of stuff like it now. But when it came out, it was, I'm not saying amazing, but it was fun. And the second one was really cool, and they're starting to develop a sense of a story.
The second one was, I think, if not my favorite movie that year, one of my favorite movies.
It was really good. 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And so, we've established in this universe that there's aliens that came, and they're kind of putting things into this post-apocalyptic sort of environment.
Yeah.
And then it kind of, the Cloverfield Paradox, which maybe I didn't read into it too much. I don't really know why the word paradox was thrown in after seeing it, because it was more of a prequel of like, hey, here's where all the aliens happened.
Oh.
And it was honestly boring.
I've heard that, like, and you could definitely say it about the second movie, but I've heard a theory that they're just like, this movie production company is like, here's money, make a movie, and then they're like, throw the name Cloverfield on it.
Starting to feel
like
that.
the second movie if you take the last 5 minutes of the movie out of it,
It could be, not even related.
it
Right.
didn't have to be called Cloverfield.
I
until
100% agree.
And that was one thing. Like, I feel like I'm ruining. There's certain things you can say about movies. If you've never seen 10 Cloverfield Lane, stop watching this right now.
It's good.
Go watch the movie, and then now I'm going to talk about the last 5 minutes. Like, when that happens, I didn't know the whole time, because the movie goes back and forth of like, is there an alien?
Mm-hmm.
Is it,
What is it? Yeah.
But it's called Cloverfield, so it's probably going to be an alien.
Yeah.
It's going to be something happen,
Yeah.
but now there's not. Is he the alien?
What's
is he
that?
gonna-
There were so
something-
many questions, and it had some good twists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but you're saying that this was just trash. Like,
I'm
was
not
this the
saying,
lowest of the three?
I'm not saying it was. Yeah. Out of
Because
the
you said
three,
you liked the first one,
Yes.
you really liked the second
out of
one,
the
you hated
three,
this.
it was not awesome. What was that movie that came out somewhat recently with has Ryan Reynolds, and they're in space, and this thing gets out, and what was that movie? I can't think what that was called.
I know what you're talking about.
We'll
It
have
came
to-
out right when Alien came out too. Like Alien came out,
Yeah, it's close.
and then
yeah.
that one came out. Outbreak or something.
We're gonna have to look.
Yeah.
But it was kind of felt like a ripoff of that in a way.
Mm.
Anyone who's a super fan of any of these movies that we're gonna go through is gonna be pretty upset with us.
Yeah, I
but
hate this.
that's the point. It's an opinion.
And folks, it was called Life.
Life was
not
the-
Outbreak.
not
Outbreak
Outbreak.
is not the same thing.
Life. I feel like Outbreak fits better, though I know what they're going for with Life. So my turn, right? My number 2, going from the least worst to the worst of the worst. I gotta go with Upgrade.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Upgrade. It was unique in its own right, but the last few minutes kind of killed it for me because I think most of all it was predictable.
It was predictable, and I was like, you know what? I've seen this movie before.
Right? It had that. feeling.
It was. I said as soon as the movie got over, I said we all watched it together when we went on vacation. We all watched it in the hotel room, and like the room, like everyone in the room, Savannah and your wife, were just like we all just there's just this build up, and then it's just like the bad type of stress relief of like they just ruined that with the ending.
Yeah,
because dang it, what's it called? The one that's the genetic opera.
Repo Man.
Yeah, Repo
Yeah.
Man. It was the same ending as Repo
It
Man.
was pretty much Repo Man in its
And
own
like
way.
Repo Man did it well.
right.
I liked Repo
Right.
Man's ending.
There's tons of movies that do that with the whole, you're completely SOL type of ending. And this was, it's sad to me, and it really sucks when a movie is like, this is actually really, really good, and then the last 5 minutes just kills the whole thing. Like, it's a bummer.
And I hope to see the
Doesn't
guy
happen often.
that was knockoff Tom Hardy. I don't know his real name, but that's what I
Newer
call him
actor
whenever.
for us. Yeah.
But the movie was good, and I hope that the studio did really well. That was actually not a huge budget movie.
Right, it was one of those...
And it was one of those indie darlings.
One of those B movies that like kind of gets a popular rep, kind of like how the Death Race movies kind of have been lately. That's my comparison, I guess, for lack of a better one. And it's like this movie had built up to where I had this thought of like, this is actually good. And even though I don't really know the actors that well, even though it's a studio I'm not that familiar with, even though it's not the most unique concept, it was like, this is a good take. And then the last 5 minutes happened. It's like, nope, this is just another Death
I
Race.
feel like this is on your list because of how disappointing just the last 5 minutes was.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
like
what's
the movie did well and could have potentially been probably on your top 10 if the ending was good.
definitely not top 5, but top 10. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a big deal for as many
But
movies
then,
as I've seen.
and that's why that's such a huge deal. It's like ending of the movie that's where you have to be good for me. Like that's where a movie that might not be very good
I agree.
can just be huge.
There is a number of movies where the ending has been a letdown, and I still think that was a great movie.
Yeah.
This was definitely a far departure from that. Anyway, enough with that. What was your?
I'm not going to spend a lot of time.
That's perfect.
I don't fall asleep much in movies,
I mean, either,
and
right?
and me falling asleep shouldn't really reflect whether a movie's bad. This is funny story. The last time I fell asleep in a movie was while in college. We had a fun night, partied pretty hard the night before, and then we were like, let's go see the new Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movie. Fell asleep in that.
Which is a
Still
good
haven't
movie,
seen it,
so
but I've heard it's really, really
right,
good.
right. So,
But I fell asleep in it because it's long. It's like 2.5 hours long, I
Right.
think.
right.
And Sherlock Gnomes just happens to be my number 4.
Just
And I
destined to
fell
not like
asleep.
Sherlock.
I just guess I don't like Sherlock Holmes or something. But this movie was trash. It was trash.
Did you ever see Romeo and Juliet? Because it's a spin-off, right?
Yeah, so I didn't see that. But like I was told I don't have to see it because it's...
Okay.
But anyways,
I haven't seen it.
I like kids movies too, so don't say it's because I don't like kids movies. You know I like
Right,
kids
right.
movies. This was bad, and like everyone that I've heard
Yeah.
that liked the first movie too said this was bad.
I didn't see it because it's hard for me to want to touch anything that's not Sherlock the series, which I think at some point on this show we're gonna have to go into,
Yeah.
and maybe I'll take a vacation for an episode away from the anime and be like, hey, you need to see this show, because eventually
Just trick me into it.
Yeah,
think it's an
And-
anime, and be like, oh, by the way, it's
at the
actually
end,
an
this is
anime.
not an anime. Perfect. So we'll cross that off.
Yeah, I like. Also Johnny Depp Sherlock Holmes. So trash.
The Maze Runner series.
Seen everything but the last one.
Okay.
The first one I saw for free. Second one I was like, hey, I saw the first one for free. Let's go see the second one. I thought the second one was better than the first one, but it was also bad.
Okay, so my thing is, I saw the first one. I felt like it was a bit, in its own way, unique. Not completely unique. There's stuff out there like that. But my opinion of the series is it declines. I loved the first one. The ending of the first one has an amazing twist that I didn't see coming, to be honest. Maybe I'm in the minority there. I don't have any idea. And then I just felt like the second one was a huge departure from it, but it was still pretty good. The third one, I hate it, and maybe I was partially jaded to begin with, because I hate it when you hear a lot of stuff about a movie and a lot of movie concerns before the movie even comes out. We talked about critics last week and all that. And then I watch the movie and it's like, I can tell. I can tell where they're coming from, and I don't like agreeing with critics. And it was like everything that I'm imagining you didn't like about the second one and maybe the first one. And it was like,
Just all that. Let's double down on the worst stuff.
yeah, and it just, I don't know. So it reminded me, and this is going to sound a little weird, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but it reminded me of one key point that really bugs me about the Resident Evil series. It's where if you're going to sit down and watch Resident Evil in order, the beginning of the next movie feels like a time jump from the ending of the last one.
Oh, yeah.
And that drives me nuts for some reason because of how they go about presenting it. It's
Yeah.
almost like, oh, we're just going to forget about that.
Yeah.
And that's how this felt to me, because I know there was issues with the actor where he almost died in filming, and it's obvious that they just kind of had to throw it together and wrap it up. Ghost bags. You go next.
Ghost bags.
I can hear the ghost
Oh,
bags.
ghost bags. And again, I'm not going to spend too much time. I think Melissa McCarthy's funny. She can be pretty funny in certain things. The Heat is just one of the funniest movies.
I like Spy.
Spy is really funny.
Spy is good.
I had to twist someone's arm to go see that. I think it was actually Tommy's arm to go see it, and we left, and he's like, "Yeah, it's pretty funny."
It's good.
But all of her movies, there's, and I can't even say hit or miss anymore, because hit or miss implies 50-50.
Right.
It's almost hidden gem territory for her movies.
Really?
Because
so?
it's either really funny like Spy or The Heat, or it's Fatty Fell Down.
Kevin James.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Kevin James, he's got some really funny movies that imply Fatty Fell Down. Also, it's funny because there's funny jokes.
Right.
But that's all it is Fatty Fell Down anymore.
Right. Yeah. I felt like, I don't know, she does better, I feel, when she's not the main character, or at least if there's someone to share the stage with.
Yeah.
But I don't know much about this movie. I didn't even really go to see it because it didn't appeal to me. So there's that.
Don't.
So number 4.
Wait. Now say it again.
Number 4.
Number
You
4!
have to do it.
Or number 4.
Okay, let's forget it. Now I'm depressed. My number 4 was so that could be a new thing. We'll have T-shirts soon. Don't worry. Anyway, my number 4 was more disappointing. Ghostbag. More disappointing than anything else I can think of, because Oprah was in it.
Because Oprah was in it.
That's terrible. I don't entirely mean that.
No.
A Wrinkle in Time. I did not have high expectations for this movie.
No, and you shouldn't have.
I went into it thinking, okay, here's a movie that I think Disney just made because we're Disney. We have extra money. Let's do something.
Yeah.
And I thought watching it that I'm like, hey, this is okay. At first, I'm like, okay, this is a lot of cliches that we're throwing into kind of their own unique environment. And I dig that. But then it just got really boring.
And
Really fast.
I'm sad because the marketing for this movie was here's the marketing for the
big
movie.
summer movie. That's
No.
not. I felt like
The marketing was, do you know Disney's doing a movie, it's live action, and the person's a person of color, and it's a girl.
Be careful.
You have to watch it because of
careful.
this. Like,
careful.
no, listen.
I see
I
what you're
wish
saying.
if you were going to do this, that you'd make a good movie. Because I know, I was like, I kind of want to go see it because I don't care. Like, the movie looks bad. The trailer looked bad.
Mhm.
We can all agree on that.
I do agree.
But I want to see, like, the last time you saw something like this, it was like, hey, this is a big deal because a person of color is getting a really big push in this movie, and we're going to be able to see things that we really haven't seen before. It was Black Panther.
I agree.
And you made just this awesome, amazing
Yeah.
movie, even
Yeah.
when you stand amongst its peers
Yeah.
of, like, other superhero
It was
movies.
beyond a superhero movie. Yeah.
It was something next
Absolutely.
level. And then you put this out and just put out a trash
And-
movie.
I honestly am not in the know enough to know if this movie was based on a book. I'm assuming it was.
Yeah, I think it was.
I think it was, but it felt like all those book movies, like it had the Giver vibe and stuff like that. And what I felt like it was advertised as, and part of this was I think I caught a part of some late night talk show that had some of the actors on it. And I felt like it was like, hey, here is a blockbuster summer movie that is advertised as we expect it to slip under your radar because there's so much else going on. And hey, the focus is it's not a superhero movie. So go see it if you're sick of superhero movies. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
And it felt like a waste of time.
Speaking of wasted time,
Cross that off.
Savannah and I, again on our Movie Pass escapade,
I don't even know
we
this.
went and saw, so I don't like Twilight.
Right.
Not a big fan of Twilight.
Right, fair.
So I don't know, again, why I saw this other than to keep my oath. We went and saw this vampire movie. This girl wasn't allowed to go out in the sun, so the Terminator's son came and like, fell in love with her at night,
Well,
and then
that's good.
found out later that she's a vampire. That
Okay.
movie wouldn't sound terrible
The
because it's like,
Terminator's
oh,
son. I think that's what gets me.
yeah. Me
hyped about it.
explaining this makes it more exciting because like the Terminator's son and a vampire. Take away that he's not a Terminator because it's just Arnold
so
Schwarzenegger's
I'm
son.
lost
So
in-
you're partly out.
Yeah,
and it's
I'm
like,
out.
well, it's still a vampire.
You haven't even said the name of the movie.
Midnight Sun.
Okay, like
It's not even a vampire. It's just she has a skin disease, so she can't go outside. So here I am getting so excited that we're gonna go see a vampire movie. I knew it wasn't a vampire movie going in. I joke about it being a vampire movie because she can't go out in the sun. That's literally the movie. Is the boy falls in love with her at night, and she's got this big secret and so much teenage angst. She can't go out in the sun because her skin, she'll die.
we Romeo and Juliet only replaced
Oh my
the
God.
family drama with the son.
Worst thing
This-
I've seen.
Completely went under my radar. I looked at the title right here and I'm just like, what is that? Like, is that a B movie? Like, I
That's
don't.
what I said on the way to the theater stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. And then when we
Well-
left, I said, "What is that? Is it like a B movie or like what are they doing?" It's bad.
I'm sorry.
Bad.
It's not your fault, Jake. It's not your fault.
Don't you do this?
It's not your fault.
Don't you do it?
It's not your fault.
Don't. Let me go first because this is the last time I'm talking about this ever, and I don't ever want to talk about the movie again
Fair. Okay, go
because
ahead.
it was just so bad. And
Well,
I don't know if it got a huge release or if it was just in Iowa because like every time something like a movie happens that was in Iowa or something happens, it's like, oh, we know, like the movie's better because like it happened here and we have pride because we're in
It was
Iowa.
filmed here?
Well, the movie like takes place in Iowa.
Oh, it doesn't. Okay.
And like the
Went
last
under
time
my
I
radar.
remember everyone being like, "Oh, it's in Iowa, it's in Iowa." It actually was a good movie. It was The Crazies. That
Yeah,
movie is
it
really
was a
good.
Fun movie.
And this movie was not very good. It's actually very bad. This is a volleyball movie
Oh my.
about, and like the girl, it's about a girl that dies, and so the team, like she's the captain of the volleyball team, and
Depressed.
so she dies at the beginning of the movie, and so the team like sucks, and then they're like, we have to do it for her and for ourselves, and then it's just their story about them winning the state
Are you
championship.
sure it's not about Avenged Sevenfold?
Shut up, shut up.
That's
The Rev's dead. I know.
I'm sorry. I love that band,
So-
by the way.
So I know we do, we both do. But like, you're supposed to feel like really bad. Seth, don't. You're supposed to feel really bad that the girl died, but like the whole beginning, I'm like, I turn over to Savannah. I go, I hope she's the one that dies.
That's terrible.
I said, I hope she's the one that dies.
I don't know if that's okay.
No, I know, and
Um,
probably when people watch, if people watch this, and they'll be like, we know who she was because this is in Iowa that it happened. But like, I hated the movie so much, and I hope that your daughter wasn't like that in real life. Because sorry that I said that.
I don't know what's happening.
I hated
don't-
the movie.
I don't know. I didn't see it. This
Okay.
went under my radar. You
Okay.
didn't even say
It was
the name
me
of
who
the
said
movie
it.
again.
Oh, I didn't see
You didn't
Miracle
say it?
Season.
Miracle Season. Okay.
Miracle Season was just trash.
I'm out on that. I
And
didn't.
again, I hated the movie so much that you know what? I don't wish your daughter died because then I wouldn't have had to see the movie.
I don't know if that's okay to say at all. We're in a fragile time in our country, Jake. Let's segue quick.
Okay.
We're gonna segue. I'm not.
Speaking of daughter dying,
I'm not gonna help us out much here.
no, that doesn't. Nobody's daughter died in that movie.
I don't know. See, because to be unfair, I picked a movie that I didn't watch, and I know
That's
that's
unfair.
breaking the rules.
That's pretty
but
cool.
I put for my worst was 50 Shades Freed. There's two reasons. Reason number one is the commercials annoyed the piss out of me,
Yeah.
and reason number two, why is this still a thing? Why can they're not? Was one not enough?
No.
Was I just?
I didn't see any of them to be.
I've
fair.
never seen them either, and I guess maybe I have no room to judge for that reason, and so I'm completely acknowledging that I'm being ridiculous and unfair here. But like, the
internet trashed them. Everyone trashed the third
that
one,
was
especially.
the thing.
to be
Like
fair.
we talked a lot of stuff about how we're not big on critics right now. A lot of that comes from like the recent example of Venom and another recent example of Last Jedi. Blah blah blah. But this is like seems fairly unanimous that the only people that like this are like sad people, and just I don't know why this is still a thing. And so if we want to axe this, and I just have a list of 4, Wrinkle in Time can be my top. But this is like why is this a thing? It
Yeah.
makes me want to get medicated, and it's horrible because I'm a drug counselor, and no worries there. But it just really upsets me. And the only good that has ever come out of the 50 Shades genre, or whatever you want to call it, is my friend Kyle, our friend Kyle, when he was wearing his Batman mask and reading the first book. That was the best.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, that's great.
Like,
I forgot about
If
it.
he can be a guest on the show, that has to be a segment.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was the worst movies. I in our opinion, that's our opinion of 2018.
Yeah, our
And
opinion
If you have any worst movies, please share them below, or however that
are above.
above.
We should create a website where you comment above. No one's done that yet.
That would be
Put money in that. Oh, shh. Cut that part. Cut it.